Jurassic Park is a franchise that's usually described as a children's film about dinosaurs. In my opinion, it's a great deal more complicated than that simple assessment. While the series has dabbled in science fiction and horror in varying degrees throughout the years, the original book that it's based on has always been a different beast. What happens within the pages of Crichton's two novels are undoubtedly red in tooth and claw, and at times downright disturbing in their depiction of graphic animal violence. Whether it be Ed Regis' flesh being ripped from his body by the juvenile Rex, or Nedry's intestines being cut from his stomach by the Dilophosaur, the book never shies away from the reality of such wild carnivorous attacks. But the novel's most disturbing scene doesn't come from any of these large theropod predators, and instead comes in the form of the deceptively cute and unassuming compies. What the Procompsognathus do in the first Jurassic Park book is undoubtedly the most disturbing scene in Jurassic Park history. Costa Rica, the home of a newborn child. The tropical rain fell in great drenching sheets, hammering the corrugated roof of the clinic Bahia Anasco. It was nearly midnight. Power had been lost in the storm, and the midwife Elena Morales was working by flashlight when she heard a squeaking, chirping sound. Thinking that it was a rat, she quickly put a compress on the forehead of the mother and went into the next room to check on the newborn baby. As her hand touched the doorknob, she heard the chirping again, and she relaxed. Evidently, it was just a bird, flying in the window to get out of the rain. Costa Ricans said that when a bird came to visit a newborn child, it brought good luck. Elena opened the door. The infant lay in a wicker bassinet, swaddled in a light blanket, only its face exposed. And around the rim of the bassinet, 3 dark green lizards crouched like gargoyles. When they saw Elena, they cocked their heads and stared curiously at her, but did not flee. In the light of her flashlight, Elena saw the blood dripping from their snouts. Softly chirping, one lizard bent down, and with a quick shake of its head, tore a ragged chunk of flesh from the baby. Elena rushed forward, screaming, and the lizards fled into the darkness. But long before she reached the bassinet, she could see what had happened to the infant's face, and she knew the child must be dead. The lizards scattered into the rainy night, chirping and squealing, leaving behind only bloody 3-toed tracks, like birds. The original Jurassic Park begins its story with a string of horrible compy attacks on the mainland. These result in the investigation of what's causing such an outbreak by none other than Martin Gutierrez, a character who has unfortunately been kept out of the film canon. These compy attacks would be touched on briefly in the Lost World Jurassic Park, with Kathy Bowman's famous injuring. The death of the infant Elena Morales was watching over has, however, never even been alluded to in any form of media outside of the novel. Now, in all honesty, I understand 100% why, but a part of me does think it would really be an effective scene if translated to the big screen properly. Another part of me also thinks this is something that's just way too dark for the PG-13 film universe to ever even attempt to tackle. Nevertheless, I stand by my assertion that this is by far the most disturbing death scene to come out of the entire franchise. No other victim comes anywhere close to the level of realism and horror that this Compsognathus kill brought its audience. It's unquestionably one of the scariest things that stuck with me from the first time I read the book way back when I was 11 years old. That's some mental imagery that you just don't forget about. I know that a lot of you out there happen to have read this book before in the past, and I'm curious to hear all of your thoughts on this particular scene. Do you think this has a possibility of being adapted in a future Jurassic story, or do you think it's just way too much for the movies to try and take on? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. It's not every day that the fandom gets to have a discussion on this particular topic. The art that was used in this video was done by Jack Anthony Ewens, who is actually taking commissions over at his Patreon. He did an incredible job with this compy piece that I asked for, and I can't recommend his work highly enough. Seriously great stuff. Now, before I go, I want to thank my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Words can't really express how awesome it is to have you guys help me build this thing up, and I seriously am eternally grateful for every ounce of support that you've shown me. Honestly guys, it means the world. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and hope that you all enjoy today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like, and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you on the next video, guys. And as always, take it easy.